Hey everyone, welcome to Sunday Night Soul Time. It is the last day of January. What's everyone thinking of 2021 so far? We canceling this one too? Are we done? What a long month. Well, this week in particular, there was something in the air, and maybe you felt it. I saw it in a lot of people close to me, but there was just a lot of kind of inner turmoil, things coming up to the surface, or actually things happening in our environment, whether, people from our past triggering us, unexpected confrontations, just a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff flying around. And, you know, I'm not really one to get into the cause of that. That's not like my deal, but I am the one to help provide support to that. And so, what I really wanted to talk about tonight is just what to do when things are troubling, what to do when you're in inner turmoil and suffering, what to do when you're having a really hard time. And it's some really basic stuff. But I just want to go through a few things tonight to remind you of that, and hopefully to provide you some guidance and support if you're one of the many that just had a really tough week for whatever reason. The one thing before I get into the practices that I want to remind everyone is that, as best you can, you really, especially when things feel like they're going bad in your life or you're struggling and having a hard time, is to really take care not to slip into victim consciousness. Like, oh, why is this happening to me? And instead, as best you can, and it's really hard in these moments to remember that everything is always happening for you. So if stuff is coming up, the positive is you're being shown stuff that you get to release. Things only come up in surface in our life so that we have an opportunity to step into greater healing, into greater purpose, to kind of release stuff. So the positive way to flip things when everything is bad is that you are releasing something. You are making more room for yourself to embody more light, to embody more of your higher self. Now, I know it's unpleasant, the way through to stepping into a deeper alignment with your higher self, to greater happiness and greater truth. The way through that, the journey there is always through pain and suffering. It's just how it is. So whenever I'm going through a really tumultuous time, whenever I'm really suffering, like somehow in the back of my mind, the one thing that kind of gives me hope and that I'm able to hold on to is like, well, I'm making room for something. I'm getting rid of stuff I've been holding on to. I'm clearing out something. I'm perhaps about to shift and have a new perspective about something that's going to create greater happiness for me. It's always at the highest level purpose, usually a good thing. I know it's hard to remember that in the moment, but if you could hold on to that somewhere in the far corners of your mind when you are struggling, it'll help you feel a little sane, because when we fall totally spiral into victim consciousness, we can cycle in things for longer than we need to. So just keeping that purview, that perspective in the back of your mind as best you can. But I wrote down 3 things just to remind you of, and these are simple things. These are things but when you're in it, they're very difficult to remember. Okay. So the first one is to feel your feelings. I know you hear that. I know I've said that many times. I know, in society we talk about that, but it's said so much because we forget to do it. We don't do it. So give yourself permission to feel and dive deep into the dark corners of your feelings, whatever you're feeling. That is how you release. That is the quickest way to end whatever is going on. When you resist it, when you prolong it, when you avoid your feelings, you drag it out, okay? You have feelings for a reason. Feelings are almost like this energetic charge that does purge, kind of dense, heavy weights you're carrying in life from you, spiritually speaking. So don't be afraid to feel. Give yourself permission to feel your feelings. Do not avoid them. Allow yourself, honor yourself with the ability to feel your feelings and to dive into it, okay? I know it's simple, but it's really hard to remember when we're going through stuff. The second is, as best you can, to practice acceptance and surrender to whatever is presenting. Things are always in divine alignment. We don't always understand the purpose at play, but there always is one. So as best you can, just say to yourself, I accept what's happening. I don't like what's happening, but I accept it. And I am going to choose to surrender into it. If that, diving into the feelings of it, like we just talked about, rather than resisting it through my lack of acceptance and trying to make something be different that just can't right now. So again, the way to practice acceptance and surrender is just to affirm it. I'm choosing to accept this. Universe, please help me surrender to it. It can be as simple as that. Because when we really let go and just allow things to unfold as they're meant to, we ascertain a greater truth about ourselves, about the situation. There are things that happen that aren't always great. And as we grow and become more aware, our acceptance of those things kind of provides a new level of understanding and awakening for us. It's not easy, but the more you resist, the more suffering you cause yourself. I mean, it's just that simple too, is another way to look at it. And then finally, the third thing that I wrote down here is to remember self-care. Very simple, very easy, but I mean, like, do some like awesome self-care. If you've been struggling, like, do the bubble bath with some Epsom salts, with a mask on, a glass of wine. I don't drink, but go for it. Some music, some candles, like really nurture yourself. Whatever feels, really like spoiling yourself, luxury kind of stuff, bonbons in the bathtub, right? Like, go for that. When you are going through any kind of difficult or challenging time, upping your self-care the way that you would do to like a good friend or a child is really an essential part of the process, and kind of getting it through okay and intact, and just giving that love and compassion to yourself. So again, those are my kind of three things. One, allow yourself to feel your feelings. Allow yourself to feel your feelings. As best you can, you might not like what's happening, but choose to accept it. They're just as simple as saying, I am choosing to accept this. There you go. You've accepted if you say it out loud. And just trying as best you can to surrender to the flow of what is. Surrender might be like a prayer and ask for help from a higher power, the universe, or whatever your beliefs are as well. And then finally, really upping the self-care right now. Again, I don't know what's going on, but I feel it in the air. I've seen it in so many folks this week, and many Sunday Night Soul Time subscribers. So I really wanted to put this message out there in hopes to be of service to you in some way. I'm going to just wish you and set the intention for a much better week ahead than perhaps this last one was. And know that I'm here if you need anything. If you have a suggestion for a topic, email me. I love getting them. And that's it. Wishing you a beautiful week ahead. Have a good rest of your evening. Bye-bye for now.